Cardinals dropped to the Green Bay Packers yesterday, their fifth straight loss. 2-5 on the season going into the bye week. Jonathan Gannon scheduled to join us, as he always does, in this 3 o'clock segment. Again, sometimes a couple minutes late because he's meeting with the local media. He'll call in as soon as he wraps up with them. And when he does, we'll get him on the phone line. And I would imagine, in addition to many other things, we'll probably talk with him about the fourth down call on 4th and 1. We'll talk about the fourth quarter defense. Yeah. We'll talk about Jacoby Brissett. We've got a lot of stuff to talk to him about, but mostly talk to him about how he plans on spending the bye week to kind of keep this thing together, because this thing...
It's going to be hard.
It's going to be very difficult.
You have the second worst record in the NFC. Mm-hmm. There's only one team in the whole freaking conference that has a worse record than you, and that's New Orleans. That's it.
Yeah.
Somehow the Giants gave up. How many points they gave up to the Broncos in the fourth quarter? 78?
I think it was 100.
100 points the Giants gave up to the Broncos in the fourth quarter yesterday.
33 people.
I don't even know how you could score 33 points in a quarter. How do you have the ball that many times to score 33 points in a quarter?
I don't know how you do that.
So they got 2 wins. There's a bunch of teams in the AFC that aren't very good. So, right now, the Cardinals' draft position, I think, is 9th. I think it's 9.
I haven't. I usually wait until the Monday night games before I look at that. But yeah, that sounds about right.
And I'll take you inside the Burns and Gambo show. During the breaks, when we shut the camera off so you can't see us, it's like, oh my God, I don't know. I want to talk about the freaking draft right now. It's not even Halloween.
I don't.
It's not even Halloween.
And I understand. I do.
The sun season hasn't started.
The sun season is 48 hours away. I'm not ready to talk about the NFL draft. I'm in no mood to talk about the NFL draft.
Season's over.
I'm not there, but
you're going to have to get there soon.
I know. It's just going to be, just not. Yeah. Man, it's not even sun season yet. We're already having these conversations.
Because 2-5 is the point of no return.
It is.
It's just the point of no return.
We'll talk about that a little. We kind of went through some of the results last week, and you're in big trouble if you're 2-5, and everybody knows it. Jonathan Gannon certainly knows it.
Most of the games that have come up are on the road too.
Yeah,
and they're going to play better teams now.
Yeah, they don't play here again for almost a month before they're back in State Farm Stadium.
Rams won, 49ers won. You're just I don't even want to think about it because I don't think that there's anything they could do. You got to go on the road and play Dallas. They just got CeeDee Lamb back.
Yep.
Dak Prescott's playing great. Their running back Javonte is great. They score a lot of. Their defense sucks, but they score a lot of points. That's going to be difficult. I don't know. You go through the wins. How many more games can they possibly win?
I don't know. That's always shifting stuff. Right? We looked at 2 weeks ago. We looked at the Jags and said, "Ooh, man, that's a really tough game." Now they don't look so bad. The Falcons. A week ago, we were looking at the Falcons going, ooh, look out, Falcons look good. Now, not so much, right? The 49ers handled them, and they didn't have 2 of their best defensive players. The schedule really ebbs and flows, but I think beyond the schedule, it's just hard. It's hard when you've dug yourself that big of a hole, and especially when you look at 2-5 teams that have made the postseason. And we did this last week. 2-5 teams that make the playoffs, man, you get to 9 and you hope you're in a bad conference. You get to 9 and you hope you're in a bad division, right? Where 9 is going to get you in. Yes.
They're not in the AFC.
No, they're not. So the phone is ringing, so Mitch is going to hit the open, and the next voice you'll hear after ours will be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon.
Your home for everything Cardinals. Everything Cardinals. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. This is In the Red Zone with Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon. Brought to you by Earnhardt Ford in Chandler, proud sponsor of the Arizona Cardinals. No Bull.
Our weekly visit with the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon, joining us here on the Burns and Gambo show, coming off the loss to the Packers. And as always, Coach, we appreciate you coming on. We know these are not the best of times, but we always appreciate you coming on and answering a few questions here every Monday. Thanks for your time.
I appreciate you guys having me. It was good to see you yesterday, Burnsy.
It was good being there. I wish you were under better circumstances, but it was good being there. Yeah.
Yeah, I almost can't believe we're here again. I really can. You guys play well enough to win these games. You've got the lead in the fourth quarter every time, and you're just coming up short. You said after the game that you have to do more. So I'm going to ask you, how much of this loss do you take the blame for? The final 7 seconds of the first half, they gave them a field goal. The 4th and 1 play call that gave them the short field that they scored on. The one-on-one blocking of Micah Parsons. He had a career day against you guys. How much of that is on you?
Everything's on me, Gambo. Everything that goes on that field is my responsibility. There's no doubt about it. So, I got to make sure that I'm doing a better job, the coaches are doing a better job, and the players are doing a better job to start winning some of these games.
Let me ask you about the second quarter, the end. 7 seconds left. Watching the game, you're thinking, okay, just kick it in the landing zone. If he fields it and you tackle him at the 20, 25, 30, 35, you're going to take off 4 or 5 seconds. Instead, they get the touchback. They get a 21-yard play. They kick a booming field goal. Give me the thought process there. Did you want to have the touchback in that situation?
Yeah, I made the call. We've studied that and looked at all the different scenarios that come up every week in the league and what people do and what we feel comfortable doing. At that point in time in the game, where the score was at and, who we were playing, I thought we were going to be okay, honestly. Even after the call that we were going to be in at the 35-yard line with 7 seconds in a timeout, I liked the call. We could have played it a touch better. And then, credit to them, hits a 61-yarder. But looking back on it, because you gave up 3 points, obviously you want to second-guess yourself, So in the moment, I was convicted, but looking back and studying it, maybe we should have went a different route.
Jonathan Gannon is our guest here on the Burns Gambo Show. We've talked a little bit about the 4th down play, the 4th and 1 play with Jacoby Brissett. You had mentioned at the end of yesterday's game that you needed to go back and look on it. After watching it, was there something not right about your operation on that play, as you had kind of hinted that there might have been yesterday?
No, when I looked at it, when I saw the ball kind of juggle it was kind of after the play was down already. I thought we might have had muffed the snap, but we didn't. We just got to surge and find that crease, and off of the surge, there's kind of a second surge that happens, and we didn't find that second surge, so that's tough way to go because you're being aggressive on 4th and 1 there, and that play has been really good to us. Jacoby's really good at it. I like the call. It's just it's stunk that we didn't get it for a yard.
When you look at the play of Micah Parsons in this game, after the game, he said he was surprised at how many one-on-ones he got. I think all of his sacks came on one-on-ones. He's so used to offensive linemen, tight ends, running back, all blocking him. He had 3 sacks. That's the most he's ever had in a game. You know how good of a player he is. What was the game plan for him coming into this one?
Yeah, we had different ways to handle him. And I just told the media that too. I think, when you look at it, 2 of them were in the red zone. I'm not going to get into everything there, but you're looking at on 3rd down, what is the 4th down goal line to score points? Either you're going to extend the drive and go for it on 4th down, or try to throw it in the end zone there, or whatever the case may be, knowing that a sack really in the red zone doesn't kill you. So that's why there were some one-on-ones when we got in the red area. And then, you look at the 2-minute drive, you're going to have to get people out in the route, and I thought we did, a pretty good job of chipping them, chunking them. The slide was going to him. But he's a really good player, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's kind of like the 4th and 1 call or kicking the ball in the end zone, or, you look back on it, maybe we should just double them every play, you know what I mean? But it's a hard way to go when you have to do that. I did think that he played well, and he definitely impacted the game. Looking back on it, maybe we should, pay a little more attention to him. But I was comfortable with the plan going in, and give him credit too. He did win a lot.
The thing that baffles us, and I know it baffles you, and I don't even know if we're going to get an answer here, but you guys have been outscored 76-33 in the 4th quarter. You've given up as many points in the first 3 quarters as you do in the 4th quarter alone. I don't have an explanation. Your defense held them to 98 yards in the first half. 98. They come out in the second half, they go 3 and out. I mean, it looks like you guys are having a dominant defensive performance, and then the collapse at the end of these games. I mean, I know you're scratching your head trying to figure out why you keep giving up these drives at the end of the games to lose. Have you come up with any answers?
Yeah, it's funny because I wish I could pinpoint one thing and fix that. But when you look at the totality of 7 games, the 2 wins and the 5 losses here, there's different reasons. There really is, Gambo. And you look at it, and complimentary football goes into it. We gave them a short field last night, on the 4th and 1. Some of them have been mixed downs. That was kind of a mixed down to me, that week. 2 weeks ago was mixed downs. The weeks before that were 2-minute. And then you look at, what you're doing schematically and execution in those moments, technique in those moments, play calling in those moments. So you look at everything, we just got to do a little bit better job. And I know that's what the numbers are and the whatever the stats. But I think, more so than that, we have to play better through 4 quarters as a whole. Because we gave up how many yards you said at half, but the 3 points at the end of the half, can we do that better? The one drive that they had they converted 2 third downs. Can we do that better? So you look at everything, and like I said, there's no easy answers. Because it's not one thing. We just got to do everything a little bit better.
Jonathan Gannon is our guest here on the Burns and Gambo Show. You also made it very clear that once again, when he comes back, Kyler Murray will be your quarterback. Do you feel confident health-wise he will be back in time for the Dallas game, or is that still too early to be determined?
Probably a little too early to be determined as we sit here now, more than about 2 weeks away. So hopefully he keeps trending along here, and we'll see where he's at.
One of the things that Jacoby certainly has done in Kyler's absence, and we saw it big time yesterday on those aggressive throws on 3rd down. When Kyler does come back, would you like to see a continuation of that in terms of how he approaches those plays? Because it has been very aggressive play on the 3rd and longs from Jacoby in those moments.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what the defense is giving them, you know what I mean? And so there's an element to that, too. What plays are we calling? What they decide to play in those moments. The one long one to Zay yesterday, they played a version of cover 2, and I call that a honey hole shot. You got a chance to throw a honey hole shot. You can try to rip it in there, and he did. So it's a little bit a tough answer for me, I guess, to answer that. But yeah, I think we need to continue on offense to be aggressive when we can. Try to generate explosives because we know explosives lead to points.
Sure.
And staying on the field, being efficient with what we're doing on mixed downs, and then obviously moving the chains on 3rd down, and then scoring points in the red zone. When you look at our red zone yesterday, that's a thing, an area in that game where you look at everything and how could we be a little more efficient down there.
Yeah, I love the way he was able to get Zay involved in the offense, and Michael Wilson, and the deep ball. The chunk plays have been fantastic. I want to ask you just personally, because I know how hard you take these losses, 5 in a row. Nobody expected you guys to be 2-5 going into the bye. Just how do you keep the team together? And then personally, do you feel pressure? Do you feel like you're coaching for your job right now?
No. When you're in any seat in the NFL, there's pressure every day. I think you lean on the people in the locker room, and that's why I said that I thought the media asked me that about kind of keeping the team together after you hit some adversity, and I kind of laugh. Like anyone that's been in the NFL for any amount of time, you've had adversity, right? But you got to be committed to what you're doing. You just got to do a little bit better. And we have the right people in there. We spent a long time on acquisition since we've been here, both through free agency and the draft and all the times that you can acquire people. And that's why we're so big on football character and team first guys. Like if you had, I would call them a bunch of mercenaries, you'd be in trouble right now. And I wouldn't feel great, as good as I can feel after losing 5 in a row, honestly. But there are positives to what we're doing and how we're going to move forward. And I do believe in the people that we got because I know they ain't going to turn it down. They're going to keep swinging. They're going to come back to work, have a good attitude with a lot of focus, and put the effort and energy that's needed to try to win a game versus Dallas.
Yeah, I would imagine you feel like you've got the support and the backing of Monty Ossenfort and Michael Bidwell as well?
Yeah, 1,000%. I couldn't have landed in a better situation than I did, guys. I'll be honest with you.
Well, Coach, we do appreciate the time very much. We won't talk to you for a couple of weeks until after the Dallas game.
We'll miss you.
Yeah, so I don't know if enjoy the bye week is the right way to phrase it, but
I don't know if that's the right week.
It's probably not.
I do think, I don't know if that's the right word. We do need a little bit of reset, though. I told the coaches and the players that. With saying that, though, we got to get some work done.
Yeah.
Do you know what a reset looks like?
On Monday. Not during the season, but I'll make sure my health bucket is right.
Okay, good
All
stuff.
right, Coach.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Guys. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Jonathan Gannon,
Bye-bye.
our guest here on the Burns and Gambo Show with the bye week. We won't talk to him for a couple of weeks until after the Dallas game.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.